Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to do a nice little review on the Apple iPhone 13 Pro Max. Now I'm going to explain to you guys how they got me in the store to get this, and I'm going to explain to you in a moment, but let's hop into this video. And you know what, I'm a little excited. Let's hop into this video. Alright guys, so full disclosure, I am recording on a Pixel 6 Pro in a very low lighting setting. I'm doing that on purpose, just to kind of show you guys how this phone works in low settings. My other video that I'm going to post very soon, if I didn't already by the time this is being recorded, is the Apple Watch SE. That particular one is being recorded on the iPhone 13 Pro Max in low lighting settings. I didn't do any tweaks, just took it out of the box and did a recording because I like doing that to show people how well a camera does. All cameras do great when you're outside in the bright sun of 100 degrees, but when you're in horrible lighting or night mode, this is when it really excels to show you what it is that you're missing or what you really have. But anyway, this is about the iPhone. So with that being said, I was at AT&T, got my wife the Pixel 6 Pro, which I'll be reviewing in the next video. This particular phone, not a huge Apple advocate at all. I use whatever works. And they ended up getting me to get an Apple Watch that got me. And I got this iPhone 13 Pro Max. So the first thing that caught me was oh man, like I love the colors of this thing. Look at this. These colors are beautiful. Now what I will say is that when you look at this video, the background looks blurry, right? Watch this. I'm gonna take this away. It clears up. Put it back. Blurry. The Pixel 6 Pro does a very good job of focusing on what it is it wants you to see, and that's why this video looks the way it looks. Of course, if I had better lighting, then it would really shine and excel, but it is what it is. So you do have your volume rockers on one side along with your SIM tray. You have your volume on, not volume on, but vibrate and sound, so you have the option to switch that. True to Apple. The lock button, which I think since the XR, I believe, lock button has been this size, a lot bigger. I'm not sure what this is. I have no idea. Don't even care. I won't be using half the features on the phone anyway. Of course, you have your lightning cable under here with your speakers, no headphone jack. That's silly, but phones are going to do what they want to do, and people are going to keep paying for them. So no reason to be outraged. Now, this did come out September 24th of 2021, so fairly recently. I have the 256 gig model, and I'm going to call this baby blue. I don't know what the real color is, but this blue is beautiful. I love how it looks frosted around the camera. Man, this is a beautiful looking phone. Just the look of the phone caught me, and I said, you know what? Let me give Apple another try. But anyway, what comes inside of the box is basically the charger itself, which I don't really need it because I have so many, and this doesn't come with anything else. And I believe this phone actually supports 30-watt fast charging. So instead of that 20 watt that the other ones support, or 18, whatever it is, this supports 30-watt fast charging. Though I haven't tested how fast the speeds are necessarily, I will do that in another video for you guys. This is just a quick unboxing and you know what I think about the phone. So you got 6.7 inches, 2778 by 1284. I believe that's 458 for the PPI. You can double check me on that, but it's around that number. You do have a 120 hertz refresh rate. Now, what I will say about this 120, I don't mind putting my code in here. 120 refresh rate is it doesn't seem as smooth. Like if you're looking at through the video, it's not going to seem smooth. It is a smooth transition from the 60 hertz that I believe the 11 had. I know the 12 had 120 hertz also, I think, on certain models. I don't remember. I believe it did. But with the 13, it seems like it's selective 120 hertz. I know there are going to be reviewers out there saying that you can't see it. That's a lie, because if you have a 60 hertz iPhone, you can immediately see 60 hertz and 90 hertz as a difference, and you can immediately see 60 hertz and 120 hertz as a difference. Now, 90 to 120 might be hard to see, but it is not hard to see as you keep using this phone. I use Pokemon Go, a few applications, and they didn't seem very well optimized for the game itself. They ran a little choppy, which is surprising because my iPhone 11 ran Pokemon Go smoother than this. I don't know if it's because of the 120 hertz screen and it's still getting accustomed, or I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I changed the screen setting to more like vivid or so. I'm not sure why it's that way, but it did act a little choppy, though. The game itself didn't lag or anything like that. I'm sure they'll catch up and do updates and things that will match the phone within due time, but it just seemed a little slow. There are at times where I swipe the screen, it seems like it's under 120 hertz. But again, no phone is perfect, and the fact that this is still 120 hertz, I haven't had any issues with it getting extremely hot when I use it or anything like that so far. It only has been a week. I've been liking it. I like the phone, though it does have a little too much weight. That's something that I don't care for. It feels like I'm carrying a brick, and I do have an outer box case, which makes it feel like I'm carrying 3 bricks once I put it on. But again, iPhones always have been heavy. It looks premium. The finish, the shine. I'm not sure if this is metal or some type of aluminum, but this is a beautiful looking phone, and Apple gets me every time with that, and I gotta stop. I gotta stop falling for it. Other than that, like I said, the 120 hertz. It does have 6 gigs of RAM inside. The Apple A15 Bionic chip is also inside of this phone. 128 gigs internally is the normal size, though it does come in also 128, 256, and then it just skips 512 and goes straight to 1 terabyte. A little odd to me, but it is what it is. It does have iOS 15 in the box, though mine did have iOS 15.1, so the update was already on my phone, so that's cool. I don't have to worry about that. In addition, it has a 4352 mAh battery. Normally, Android phones, especially Motorola, have about 5,000, but each phone is differently optimized. So when I see this, and I had the other iPhones, like I had the 12 was the last one that I had the 11 Pro Max, things like that. I'm cool with Apple's optimization of the battery. I just kind of wish they brought back the actual charging case that fit on this, because I would never take that case off, and that really made a huge difference in the battery life. But again, they're trying this whole MagSafe hideous thing, and hopefully they get it right this time around with faster speeds, because right now MagSafe is a laughable joke when it comes to how fast a phone could charge. I know last time I checked it was like 15 watts if it's plugged into a Apple charging to an Apple wall outlet, and it was just a bunch of nonsense that had to get 15, while normally it would have been 5 if you use some type of other device like a computer or something like that. So it's very, very weird. Apple is very weird on their details. They don't say everything, but what I will say is that they do really good jobs of making a beautifully finished phone. Like most or every Apple phone, it doesn't come with any bloatware. Like I had to download YouTube, I had to download Facebook, I had to download all the applications that I normally use. They'll only use a couple so far. I'm still in the transition of backing up my Android phone and all the data so I can just pull up Google Photos on this, which you can download Google Photos on this phone, and all your stuff will pop up in that application rather than you trying to put it on a computer or something and then install it. It's just too much work. Just use your Google backup if you're switching from Apple to Android. It also works with contacts and pictures and things like that. So, you know, it might take a little time for it to pop up because it is a different operating system, but all your information should be backed up for that. So without further ado, let's hop into this next section. So for the cameras, you have your triple lens. You have this little guy right here, which I'm going to break down each part of the camera, but I want to make this very quick and fast, and I'm going to do a separate video for you guys to actually show you in real time a lot of the pictures. You have your 12 megapixel wide, 12 megapixel telephoto, 12 megapixel ultra wide. You do have your depth scanner. You have your dual LED tone flash. So you do have some features on this thing. For video, it does, in the 4K, it does 24 frames, 30, and 60 frames. If you decide to record in 1080p, it goes from, I'm gonna give you the full thing, it goes up to 240, but it goes from 30, 60, 120, and 240 frames. So it really depends on the environment that you're in, the lighting, the quality, and it really brings out the camera. So it won't really do me any justice to show you pictures now because it's the middle of the night, so I'm not gonna go ahead and do that. But in another review, I'm going to do strictly camera and battery tests for this phone so you guys can see, is it worth getting? Beyond this is a big yes, in my opinion. But that's for the last segment, and I'll explain why it's a yes for you guys. For the front, you are getting a front 12 megapixel camera. It's a wide megapixel camera that has, of course, HDR, 4K. The 4K is 24 frames, 25, 30, and 60 FPS, so it varies. And in 1080p, instead of 240, it goes from 0, 60 to 120 frames per second. So again, you are getting a good selfie cam. You're getting a good back cam for those like me that do YouTube videos and don't necessarily want the whole big $7,000 camera setup. An iPhone is good enough for me. I'm a small channel, and I'm okay with that. Of course, with a lot of my videos, I give you guys full disclosure and let you know what I'm recording on. Again, right now, This is a Google Pixel 6 Pro with low lighting. Not a bad camera also, especially it does an amazing job on the focus. I think I said that earlier. Let's do that again. So you see the background table looking fuzzy, move away, clear, come back, fuzzy. So it does a good job of really showing the camera. Anyhow, let me pop up a couple pictures for you guys. Let me swipe up, make sure I don't have no scumbag photos in my phone. All right, so here we go. This little picture I took with the cat. Again, you can't really see the clarity in it, but I'm just going to show you a couple pictures. It's much, much sharper if you look at my phone itself. I would have showed you a screen recording, but again, I'm new to Apple, so I do not know how to screen record. Don't roast me for that. I just don't know. I'm going to learn, but I don't know how to. Here's another picture of the cat. She's in heat right now. That's Butters over here. And we call her Butters for a reason. Yes, because that's South Park character. That's her. This is a video I did with the Pixel, what's it called? Pixel 6 Pro to show the guys in the group chat that I had the phone. And I actually did an Apple Watch review and some other things, some Anchor glasses. So I did do some reviews on this thing. So the camera is very, very good. I'm really pleased. And so far, I've used this camera, I would say, for about maybe an hour or so. The phone hasn't gotten hot. It hasn't got, most of the time the phones get hot when you use the camera for excessively. I haven't had any issues yet. Of course, I am yet to convert videos for YouTube usage. So once I do that also, in a second review for this phone, I want to do a comparison directly from this to the Pixel 6 Pro. So that way we'll know, which phone performs better in which situations. But anyhow, let me not ramble on anymore. This part of the video was like 3 minutes. Let me stop and let's hop on to the next section. So there is something that I do need to correct in this video that I made a mistake on. I believe I said it earlier in the first part. And if I didn't, disregard it. I said this phone had 30-watt charging. Unofficially, I believe this phone has, I'm not sure if the website says it personally, but I just go based on other information, my personal usage, and other people that do testing on cameras and stuff in phones, and I kind of just use my amateur opinion about this. I want to say this phone has 27 watts. Most of the information that I look up says 27, not 30, so that is a mistake on my part. The battery size is still, yes, 4352 mAh. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, well, the battery lasts for 8 hours of talking. Listen, it depends on the situation, whether you keep the phone in 4G LTE, because some people do turn off 5G, primarily because it doesn't work very well in a lot of people's areas. It depends on if you're talking, mixing with music, mixing with video editing, or if you're doing video editing, your phone's going to die very fast. That's just any phone that you use. If you're using it for video viewing, that's a different story. So people need to understand that depending on the process of what you use your phone for will determine how well or how long that does affect battery degradation. But because the phone is new and so many people have, jump programs where you use it for a year or 18 months and you hop to the next one, by the time the phone's battery really starts to die out, you kind of don't notice it. Or if you're a person where you're always near a charger, you're not really going to notice it. I don't charge my phone until it gets to about 40%. Then that's when I'll start charging my phone back up, especially if I'm at work. It does come in multiple colors. Like, I'm not going to tell you the multiple colors it comes in because each model comes in different colors. They all don't come in the same colors, though the regular 13 is the one that has the whole rainbow array of colors inside of the phone. I like it. I will honestly say that this is a very good phone. I'm not switching my 20-watt Anchor charger. I'm going to keep using that. I also do have a Belkin 30-watt C cable, and I'm going to use that for my iPhone. You don't necessarily need to get the Apple authentic charger. A charger is a charger. The only time you need a particular charger is if you're using a OnePlus, and that uses warp charging, with no other company has except for OnePlus. But when it comes to iPhones, you can get alternative chargers. I do not suggest you go to Five Below and buy some cheap brick, because that could damage your phone over time, and a cheap cord. That's up to you. If you're willing to spend $1,000 for a phone, or $1,100, whatever this costs, I forget, then you better be prepared to get a decent charger for it. Though, like I said, it does come with USB-C to USB-C inside the box. Unfortunately, there's no dongle or anything, so make sure you hold on to your older Apple cords, especially if you hook this up to your computer like me, because I have tons of music that I own that I sync to the phone, and I always download more and then sync it to the phone. I don't do the streaming thing unless it's YouTube. I like to own my music in case, who knows, the internet goes down and one day I'll be without. Is this phone worth it? Absolutely. It's absolutely worth it. Is it worth you jumping from an iPhone 12 Pro Max to this? No, not at all. Now, granted, if you're a camera buff, that's a different story. I don't have an issue with anyone that upgrades their phones. If you're just buying it for the sake of buying it, then that's just you wasting money, or that makes you feel better to buy it and you like the thrill of buying the new phone. Knock yourself out. Just make sure you can pay your bills. You'd be surprised how many people buy phones and they can't even afford what it is that they have. If you're buying this particular phone because you're coming from like an 11 or 11 Pro Max, even then I can say you can still do without. But if that 120 hertz, that faster charging, the better telephonic lens, because even though they're both, I think did 11 have a triple setup? I think it did. I think the 11 had a triple setup, the 11 Pro Max moving forward. I forget. But really, you're buying it for the better chip. You're buying it for the better camera. You're buying it for the better battery life. There would be reasons why you upgrade if you legitimately need the phone. But if you're a regular consumer, there's no need for you to constantly get a phone every single year unless you're just bored or you damaged it and you just want to get a new one. But yes, it is a good phone. It's one of the best, as a matter of fact. Personally, I don't put Samsung as the top phones out there. I'd rather have an Asus phone, the ROG phone any day than any of these, personally, because they have better cooling, it has more RAM, it has certain phones. I believe there's some phones out there that have 165 or 240 frames per. I forget the exact phone that has it, but like one that has higher or 140. There are phones that have a higher frame rate than 120 frames per second. So, but again, as a regular phone lover, and the fact that I'm coming from personally a OnePlus 8T and a Samsung A52, this is a huge upgrade. I didn't realize how big of an upgrade it was. I didn't like my iPhone 12, but the 13 Pro Max, it was a huge upgrade for consumption reasons in terms of my YouTube channel. That's the reason why I upgraded to this phone, because I didn't see any Android phone giving me value over the years as they degrade. Like iPhones still keep an extremely high value, whether I pay this off and go to another carrier or sell it or unlock it, this will still cost a lot of money. That's one of the reasons. Android phones are like a dime a dozen. They tend to not have much value whenever the next one comes out. And even when they first come out, Pixel 6 hasn't been out that long, but at Black Friday you can get, at one point you were able to get a Pixel 6 for like $400 some. So it just goes to tell you they're more interested in pushing the phone, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's worth the actual asking price. But we will hop into the Pixel in the next review. So anyway, I will dive more into this iPhone when it comes to pictures, when it comes to videos, when it comes to video editing and things like that. I'll do a separate video. But for right now, this is just a quick unboxing just to show you guys. If you already own the iPhone, you know you're going to like the next one. I personally fell in love with the color. Oh man, I call this Glacier Blue. I don't know what it's really called. Do not care. Glacier Blue is what I call it. And I'm been loving it so far. Even the software. I'm not a big Apple fan software, which unfortunately I do have to find new applications. Like I use UCut. Canva, I believe, is on Apple. I had another app called One Intro or something. I have to double check to see if that's on there. If not, I do have to find new ways to do my intros and things. But other than that, it's fine. It takes time, and it might be a little learning curve, but I'm willing. And we'll see if I'll be sticking with this for the next couple months. Anywho, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.